was I going to talk about? And I was talking about how chaotic it was, and that instantly sent me a reminder of what I wanted to talk about, which is the subconscious and the feminine specifically. And so you guys have heard of Lilith, right? This is something that goes into occultism, astrology, the Bible. The Bible is an occult book, of course. It's like a big handbook to try to figure out yourself, and you being like the Jesus figure. And so, which reminds me of something else that I want to make a video about, but it's all kind of coming together. So in my mind at least. So the divine feminine energy is correlated with Lilith. And Lilith is considered a dark entity, very chaotic, and I don't know if you guys have heard of the dark chaotic feminine, but this is an analogy for the subconscious mind. So anyone who's highly tapped into their feminine energy is creative. Whether they do this for work or not is irrelevant, but they have a predisposition toward feminine energy. And so I would like to have a little more light. The sun is low-key going down right now, so but yeah, so excuse that background noise. But so they have these predispositions toward creativity. It's not something that was implanted in the mind because it's trendy and everybody's doing it now, and people think they can make money from it, and internet money and blah blah blah. But just because they have a lot inside that they need to express in some type of way or another. So as we know, the right brain is correlated with the feminine, that hemisphere. And that is what is responsible for our ability to think in creative and abstract ways, as opposed to linearly. And so the way that the subconscious mind looks, if I could describe that realm, actually, it would be blackness, just like the cosmos, right? So scientists will say like dark matter makes up the unobservable universe, right? And really, the primordial origin is out of that cosmic womb that is pure darkness, blackness. And this is because before we created all of this density and separation to be able to live out different instances of spirit, to develop individual souls, which are our individual emanations of spirit, we had to separate everything. And the more separate we became, the more dense things became, and the more solidified the principle of duality became. And we're still going through this process now, but it happens in cycles. So we're getting to the point right now where we're at ultimate resistance. We're at ultimate density. So that's why the furthest they can go from here is creating robots, you know. So but for the next race of humans, they will be going in the opposite direction that we've been going with our evolution more recently, which is more in alignment with devolvement on a lot of levels. But anyway, so it's that darkness is our origin that everything is incepted from. So why is that? How is that? What is darkness? Darkness is every single color combined. That's the source. Do you understand? Like, that is the source. So before we separated, that's when we turned into the whole rainbow that you can see, and you actually see separate colors. They're not all, you know, when you see a rainbow, yeah, you see them all on one spectrum, but they're still, the hues, the colors are separate, right? Every single color has its own arc. What darkness is when you mix all of those colors together, and that's source. Whereas when we start having all of these individual spirits, these souls inhabiting these human bodies, what we created this experience. And the more that we became aware of our existence here instead of just being, so then we develop different desires and all these things, and that they talk about the demiurge, you know, that's what we desire, but that beast that we're creating, that collective ego. And so, and that's the same way it's so easy to rule over people. They rule over people through the demiurge. And so anyway, we created all of these beautiful colors and everything like that, but it's only possible because of separation. So if you know that feminine energy, if you don't know, now you're about to know, feminine energy created all. So you cannot create something that you do not possess within yourself. How does creation work, right? So if a celestial body, or if an energy, if a source is able to create, then that is something that feminine energy is responsible for. So the predominating primordial energy would be the feminine that everything incepted from. So the subconscious mind is where we all have access to this space. That's why I always say there's a portal in the subconscious mind, because that is where everything is not separate. So you know what it is in terms of the way that a human would experience that if if there was no veil between the subconscious realm and the conscious realm. The way that a human would unadulteratedly, unfiltered, unveiled 100% experience the subconscious realm would be pure and complete chaos. And, you know, while some would say that's one of the reasons why a lot of information is gate kept and they have all these secret societies and, you know, things to be initiated into to learn a lot of this type of information, because they'll say it's too powerful for everyone to have and it will drive people crazy and people will do, you know, wrong things with it or this and that. I want to know, what do you see the people who are already having this information do with it? Because if they had so much integrity and they were so spiritually mature and all of that, we wouldn't have the type of world that we have right now. So I just think that it's completely asinine that people are still trying to uphold these principles that are there for them and the average person to stay stagnant. And so anyway, if though someone were to experience those two realms, the subconscious realm, while they're inside of the human psyche, you know, that's why we do dimensional travel. You know, you get glimpses of this and of that and of that, but not all at once. If you were meant to get it all at once, then you wouldn't be having a human experience right now. And it wouldn't have been designed for you to forget. But the idea is to remember enough that you break the karmic patterns, you know. And I would never say that you have to be trapped into anything that is against your will and your consent. But we all came here to Earth School to learn. So even the people who came on missions to teach also came to learn. So yeah. But anyway, so that subconscious realm is extremely, extremely chaotic. And that is why it is so extremely powerful to be able to create a bridge between those realms and to be able to translate and filter through what is of use to you in this life and in any given moment, from the subconscious to the conscious. And that is why there are those different terms about chaotic, dark, feminine, and all that. So it's something to harness, and it's something to shine a light on, per se. So basically, that's what Lucifer does. So Lucifer is the light bringer, light bearer, whatever. And remember, everything is allegorical. So people take things a little bit too literally for whatever reason. Like, we don't grow up with Hollywood shoved down our throats. I don't know. But Lucifer is a light bearer, and that is about illuminating the darkness. So that is pulling information from the subconscious and translating it over. That's what I said, subconscious. I'm already in the future. You're pulling information from the subconscious and you're bringing it over to the conscious mind to logicalize it, to make it make sense, to make it have value to you, for whatever it is that you need to know, whatever it is you're trying to do with your life, whatever type of growth you're trying to see within, and in return in your outer circumstances, as within, so without. So just want to leave you with that for this moment, and much love to y'all.